Yo, what is up, guys? We are back with a new series, and this series is What If Naruto was Sukuna's reincarnation? Now, how this would take place is during the Nine Tails attack, Minato and Kushina would still be hit with the nail of death and get folded, basically dying, and Naruto in this timeline would pretty much grow up being adopted by the main Uchiha family like Fugaku and Mikoto. So when like Naruto's first 8 years of life or like living in the main Uchiha family, he would basically be groomed and trained. Learning jutsus like the Shuriken, Shadow Clone Jutsu, Kunai Shadow Clone Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu, the Shadow Clone Jutsu trick, how to train really fast, and the Fireball Jutsu, since he does have a fire affinity, in this timeline, like fire, wind. That's what I like to do in this what if. After this, basically, Naruto would grow up with Sasuke and Itachi, and they would basically become like surrogate brothers. And Naruto would also get to know Shisui. But this would all change when Naruto was heading back from the academy, and he'd basically head with his brother Sasuke, and they would head to their home before they would see Itachi standing over their dead parents. After this, Itachi would put them in a Tsukuyomi, or Sasuke in a Tsukuyomi, and Naruto would basically like dip, bro. He was just so over it. He just had enough. He would then head in the forest and with a cooking book that Mikoto left him, because over the years he had grown. He really liked her cooking, and he always asked her for the recipe, but for some reason, whenever he made it, it just never hit the same. Basically, he would head in the forest, and he would pretty much spend his rest of his life there. Not his life, but like 5, 6 years there, and Naruto would try to make a house, like build a small house and build a vegetable farm. And one day he was growing his vegetables, or, what he needed to cook food, and he saw a finger. It was like reddish, and bro, he was kind of hungry that day since he hasn't eaten in maybe 2 days due to it being winter, and there isn't much vegetables to grow in that season. So he would just cop the finger, bro, eat it. After his black markings would appear on his body, Sukuna would take over, basically doing a similar dialogue when he took over Itadori's body. After this, right before Sukuna would jump off and go on a quote-unquote rampage, uh, Naruto would basically say, "Yo, what are you doing with my body?" After this, Sukuna would say, "Huh? You can still control your body." Naruto would say, "I mean, it is my body." After this, Sukuna would say, "Who are you, brats? And who are you to defy me, Sukuna, king of curses?" Naruto would say, "I'm Naruto Uzumaki." Uh, Sukuna would recognize that name since, number one, he was alive, not alive, but alive since Hagoromo, so he definitely heard the Uzumaki name being thrown around. So he said, the Uzumaki clan, you people are so despicable. I despise you. Naruto would say, Uzumaki clan, what's that? I only was named Uzumaki. I don't know if there's an actual clan of the Uzumaki. Sukuna would tell him there actually was a clan, but they were all eradicated around 50 years back. After this, Naruto would say, "So you're powerful, right? Are you powerful? Are you more powerful than a QB?" Sukuna would say, "The QB? No, I'm way more powerful than the QB. So I think you should use my power instead of the QB. You know, maybe if you want to, we can team up and take over the QB and absorb his chakra." Naruto would say that he's down, since uh, you know living in the forest has definitely taken a toll on his mind. So he definitely is more power hungry. After this, for the next 5 years, Deku Naruto pretty much get trained by Sukuna himself, learning curse energy attacks, learning domain expansion, learning his flame arrow attack that Sukuna used against the Maharaga in the manga panel. I don't know if you guys didn't watch it. If you guys didn't watch it, you guys just watch a spoiler. Just kidding though. But that was a spoiler though. After this, Deku pretty much, after the 5 year time skip, would stand at a good 5'10", and the drip he'd be wearing is like Sukuna's garb, like the one he wears in his domain. Just look at the thumbnail, and pretty much that's the outfit. After this, Deku would basically start his battle against the QB. He would open the gate, and him and Sukuna would be ready, and the QB would like pop out, or like pull up to throw down, and QB would basically go to use a Biju Dama, but Sukuna would tell Naruto to try out the domain expansion. Just take him to my domain, take him to Sukuna's domain, and I should handle the rest. After this, Naruto would pull out the hand sign for Ryuichi Tenkai, and say, "You domain expansion, Malvinate Shrine." After this, Sukuna would take them to his domain, where he'd be sitting on the throne, and he would basically, like Kurama, get slapped into like little pieces, and then Naruto would quickly absorb him, and like he'd be able to take all his hatred, and like he's also absorbing the hatred of Kurama himself. So there'd be a side effect to this. So when Naruto would absorb all of this, and he'd come out the mind skip, the thing is his KCM wouldn't be like normal orange; it'd be like dark red. Yeah, and due to him absorbing all the hatred. So after this, he'd be in KCM 2, basically after absorbing all of Kurama's chakra, including his chakra, like hatred, full of hatred. And Sukuna would say, good job, you're finally getting stronger. Maybe, just maybe, you have a chance to beat me soon. But don't get cocky. After this, Sukuna would tell Naruto that the getting exams are tomorrow, and don't you want to go there and become a ninja? Naruto would say, nah, and he'd say he has better plans. He wants to start his own village. After this, Sukuna would say, I see. I like your thinking. After this, Naruto would basically, like, that night, like, he would basically go into his stealth outfit, I guess. Just basically be the same outfit. And he would basically sneak into the Hokage's tower and steal the scroll of sealing. He would then dip out real quick. Like, no, he would not dip out. He would really make a copy scroll of all the techniques in the scroll of sealing. Everything would be his. He would then keep the scroll there, and nobody know it was even stolen. After this, Naruto would leave the village and basically head towards other villages in the Fire Nation and just start collecting soldiers and bandits, whatever he needed to, and give them promises to start a new country. And these bandits would honestly grow up like the numbers. They would go from 200 to 500 to 10,000. They would honestly they would be good in quantity of ninjas. After this, they would head to the Uzumaki place. I said Izukage. They would head to the Uzumaki ruins and basically just start building from there. All the bandits would get trained by Naruto personally on his clones of using Uzumaki techniques, and he would find a way for them to use them, and they would honestly just get stronger. They would learn all their affinities. They would learn water manipulation, not water, but like their elemental manipulation. And anyone that had dojutsus there would evolve their dojutsus to the max. After this, one day, Naruto would basically like see an SOS from the land of the waves, basically being the Tazuna mission. And since let's just say the land of the waves is by the Uzumaki ruins, so they can expand their empire and take it something from the Mist Village. After this, Naruto and about 500 of his personally trained bandits, like battle hardened bandits, will head over to the land of the waves, and they would help Tazunu out, quickly taking down Zabuza and Haku, and robbing Gato, and giving money to the people, liberating them from their dictator. After this, it would pretty much Naruto would become the king of this uh, Sukuna Empire, I guess Sukuna based empire. They would call it the Uzumaki Empire. Uh, After this, people in the elemental nations will hear of this uh, development, and they'd be wary of him, and they said if he becomes any powerful, he might become the sixth great nation. After this, Naruto would basically just keep expanding, taking over lands like Takikage, and meeting other people like ninjas on the way that'll actually help them on their progression to becoming stronger. They would take over the land of the snow, any filler arcs, like any land that were in the filler arcs. He would take them over and liberate them from their, I guess, transgressors. That, if you guys don't know what transgressor means, it just means someone who done wrong to them, who does wrong to them. After this, Naruto would basically be around 13 years old, and he'd hear of the Chunin exams, the Konoha Crush arc, basically taking place, and he would see how Hiruzen died, and that they're actually the new Hokage, the fifth Hokage, was Tsunade. And basically, in this timeline, Team 7 was just Sasuke, Sakura on side. Sasuke doesn't leave the village. Sasuke still saves the village, trains with Kakashi, gets the 3-10 Sharingan over the time skip, and Chidori, Kirin, and Sakura still gets her normal development. And Jiraiya is hunting down Naruto, or looking for him, with his spy network. After this, one day, after it's been Naruto is around 15 now, and Naruto's been getting stronger, and one day he'd be in the forest walking around, and he'd be by one of his villages, and he'd be by the hot springs, and he'd see this guy with long white hair and a toad cloak on. He would walk up to him and say, "Excuse me, who are you?" Says Jiraiya would turn around and say, "Haha, I am Jiraiya, one of the Toad Sani." He says, "Yo, Naruto Uzumaki, Emperor of the Uzumaki Empire, leader of the Uzumaki Empire." Naruto would say this to Jiraiya, and Jiraiya would say, "Naruto, is that you?" Yeah, and Jiraiya would basically just pretty much hug him, saying that that's been quite a while since he last saw him. After this, Naruto would say, "I never saw you before." Or, what are you talking about? He says, Jiraiya would say that he knew his parents. After this, Naruto would say, "Who are his parents anyway?" Since he figured out, he just wanted some confirmation, I guess. Jiraiya would say that they're Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. After this, Naruto would straight up just say, would ask, why didn't anyone tell me? Jiraiya would say, "I don't know. Hiruzen was Hokage at the time. I would have told you, but I couldn't. That's rank secret." After this, Naruto would be a little pissed. He knows that after he gets stronger, he's gonna take down the whole world and go after these new race. They call themselves the Otsutsukis. They've been a thing since ever. After this, Naruto would basically tell Jiraiya that there's this new group. They call themselves the Akatsuki. What's going on with them? Jiraiya would say, "Yeah, they've been trying to go global. They kidnapped the first intelligence, the first intelligence Cherokee. The number they kidnapped Gaara basically and extracted the one tail from him. And they got the seven tails, and now they also just recently got the 3 and 4 tails. After this, Naruto will be pretty nervous, since not nervous, but just slightly, and tell them that they need to declare war on them fast, or they're going to lose. After this, Jiraiya would say, "Yeah," and Naruto would say, "For now, let's join alliances with the Leaf, the Uzumaki Empire and the Hidden Leaf Village back again like the first time." After this would start like a month of just negotiations between the Leaf Village and the Uzumaki Empire. But just know that the Uzumaki won't be allying themselves with them anymore. And yeah, uh, after this, more people would have joined, like Suigetsu, Karen, and Jugo, and any of Orochimaru's followers after Naruto killed Orochimaru, or Sasuke killed him, and you know, Sasuke's team, like Team Taka, were getting quite annoyed of Sasuke. Not because Sasuke killed Orochimaru. That's what I'm saying, on a mission. And basically Team Taka joined the Leaf Village, and they were getting annoyed of the Leaf Village and Sasuke, just in general. And they joined Naruto, I guess, village or empire. After this, Naruto would meet up with, after negotiations, they would meet up to the battlefield, and there it was. Pain, 6 packs of the Pain arc would basically happen, but it wouldn't be as, Naruto would be way more serious, since recently Jiraiya had died from going on a recon mission. So, he was a little pissed, and, he's gonna try harder, basically, in the battle. After this, everyone will pull up like 6 packs of Pain, Sasori, Deidara, Itachi, Kakazu, everyone, Toby, Kabuto, like Sage Mode Kabuto, or they'd pull up. Naruto would straight up start, like, Kakashi would fight Kakazu with Guy. They would clap Kakazu real quick, with Kakashi having a little trouble, but when Guy helped him out, he beats Kakazu. Um, Asuma, would, since he still died by Kakazu, so Shikamaru would basically kill Hidan like he usually did in canon, or like a similar method like he did in canon. Then Sasuke would fight Itachi. Sasuke and Naruto would actually fight Itachi. Basically, they would just really try to kill Itachi, with them like using an all-out attack, and right before Itachi died, Itachi would tell them the truth about the clan and what really happened, and then he would die. I mean, I know it's kind of, I'm rushing it here, or not rushing, but basically Sasuke would get the Mangyako, and Naruto would become like really mad. Like curse energy would encircle him, and he'd put his hands together using Yurichi Tenkai. After this, Naruto, like every opponent there, would be sliced into halves, and Obito would basically not be expecting it, so he couldn't have Kamui activated, so he'd die as well, along with everyone else. After this, they'd quickly take down Kabuto in the reanimations, and for the next 5 years after that, they would basically just train, waiting for the Otsutsukis, or waiting to attack them. After this, Naruto and Sasuke would get their powers from the Sage of the Six Paths. Naruto, getting 6-path Sage mode, and Sasuke getting the Rinnegan and Sharingan. But Sasuke is just way weaker than Naruto, since Naruto has Sukuna's abilities. He has the most OP out of everything in Naruto. After this, Kakashi would still have the double Mangyaku in this timeline, and with the help of Naruto, he'd be able to basically use it the same way he did versus Kaguya in the battle, Team 7 versus Kaguya. And everyone else would just all up be pretty strong. After this, with the help of Sasuke and Kakashi, they would make a portal to the main land of the Otsutsukis, and they would basically invade, with the forces of the whole Naruto world on their side. Naruto would push in and basically go all the way to the Otsutsuki King and his prince, like his son. After this, Naruto would pull up and with his battle sword. It's be pretty strong, you know. He had it blacksmith by Uzumaki or someone, so lost Uzumaki there. Someone they, you know, like, what I mean is they found the scrolls of a lost Uzumaki, and the blacksmith used the same method to make it, and it was like basically making an OP sword. Naruto would infuse curse energy into his sword uh, before charging at the son of the Otsutsuki King, the Otsutsuki Prince, I guess I'll say from now on. He would then charge at him and basically try to stab him in the heart. The Otsutsuki King would quickly use karma and dodge out the way. After this, Naruto would basically get into a fight with him before absorbing the prince and start fighting the king. The king would have some trouble and use like an all-out ability, basically go into his transformation mode. When this would happen, Naruto would just put his hands together, use Yurichi Tenkai, Malfinite Shrine. He would then use the domain expansion and basically almost kill severely injure the Otsutsuki King before Naruto would use the flame arrow and send it at the Otsutsuki King's heart. And then Naruto would then absorb the king, basically gaining the Karma Seal, or the power of the Otsutsuki King, which is immortality and basically being leader of the ruler of the universes, or the Naruto verse itself. After this, Naruto would basically, after the battle, would settle down and become the Otsutsuki King. And while everyone, still got some power ups, this would basically start a long generation of just Otsutsuki's kings and people with Sukuna's powers until Itadori Yuji popped up and Itadori got Sukuna, and we're back to the Jujutsu Kaisen, present time. And that is it. The end. I know this is pretty short, and I kind of just wanted to do it as a one shot, because why not? It is what it is. But other than that, I'm gonna have some mangas popping up for some. If you guys were OGs watching me, then you guys know there's a series I had, What If Deku Was Hacker? That's definitely gonna come out, and it's gonna be goated. But other than that, peace out, guys.